Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to TRS Live with your hosts Brian Keller, Matt Trotz, and Zach Huffman, presented by The Real Shot.
I'ma do this here forever. EQ. Forever.
Triune.
Forever.
Yeah.
Forever. I'ma do this here forever. All you haters better get comfy. This the day you've been waiting on. Y'all road is finna get bumpy. This the track I'm making my statement on. I ain't going nowhere. This the place that I'm making home. I'll do this shit forever. Hit the gas and I'm taking off. Ow. I was born with passion. My job is never ending and my hustle's everlasting. No matter what, I'm gon' ball, even with my back to the wall. And the best part is that this is the beginning. I'ma do this here forever. Forever.
Here we go.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Hope everybody's having a great start to their, afternoon already on the Tuesday. Brian, how are you doing today?
I'm good. My voice might be a little, I don't know, coming down to something, so I apologize.
Well, that's that post-Jamaican blues.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Come back here to you guys. Anybody'd be sad.
Right.
Jesus.
Yeah, you came back to snow. Thanks for bringing it.
Yeah,
We
right?
appreciate
Rock
it.
on.
Yeah, it was beautiful the whole time you were gone. So, not to say that we're happy to have you back, though.
Thanks.
So we'll get right into the nuts and bolts of today's show. We're joined, you can already see he's on the screen there, Brad Fuller with the Omega Tackle, the man, the myth, the legend. I like that. I'm going to use that a lot for everybody. I think that just
That's
fits
your
him.
thing?
Yeah, his beard looks great. We already said, look how great that thing is. You said it's getting grayer by the moment here?
Yeah, no doubt, for sure, man.
So we're talking today about the National Professional Fishing League. And you just released all this out there yesterday to the public. So what we're going to do today is we're going to answer as many questions, but Brad, we're basically going to turn the table over to you and tell us what it's all about, why you felt the industry needed this, and then just keep going on from there, my friend.
Yeah, so thanks, guys. Appreciate you guys having us on. So, basically we'll start with it's an ownership group comprised of three people. There's myself, my wife, and I are second majority owner. The majority owner is Al McCullough with Elite Angler. I've known Al for about 5 years. So he owns an apparel company. Him and Donnie Wilson own that company. And then the third minority owner is Paul Benson, the vice president of Cast and Rods. And more importantly, with those guys' titles, it's what each of us bring to the table with respect to what we can do with this tour. So, the first thing is we've had a lot of questions. Literally, we were joking earlier. I don't think I've talked on the phone this much ever as I have in the past 18 hours. And that's all good stuff. And I'll highlight a couple things. But the big question, I talked to Jay Kumar this morning with Bass Blaster. And the first question he asked, he goes, why? Why did you guys feel the need to do this? Or what drove you to do this? And this was a simple business decision for us, to be very honest with you. We feel like there's a need in the industry. There's room for another tour. And we've had a lot of questions about, hey, are you guys afraid you're going to dilute the profession of bass fishing? And here's my counter to that, our counter to that. If you look at the growth of tournament bass fishing over the last 5 years, both Bass and FLW have done a phenomenal job growing these collegiate anglers into people who not only can fish, but they understand the business side of the industry. Mm-hmm. I would argue that there's more people now that are qualified and have the financial means to fish a high-level professional tour than ever we've had in the history of bass fishing since Ray Scott put the first tournament on. Well, if you look at the growth in the industry, it really isn't been proportional to the growth that we've had of available anglers. So you look at it, 310 anglers fish professionally each year. That's between the BPT, FLW, and Bass, 310. Each year, through all those tours, they only cycle 42 new guys into those tours, 12 from the Bass Opens and 30 from the Costa Series, what used to be the Costa Series, now the FLW Series, into the professional ranks. We feel like that 13th, 14th, 15th guy in the Bass Opens are pretty good sticks. And they're not only good sticks, but they understand the business side of fishing. They understand how to be a professional. They just missed it by maybe a few ounces. Right. We didn't feel like a few ounces should keep them pursuing their dream of being a professional angler. Same thing on the FLW series, the Costa series. That 31st place guy is a pretty good stick. You know what I mean? So
Right, for sure.
we want to be very clear. We're not here to take the place of any of the existing tours. We aren't necessarily here to compare ourselves to those tours. We are just another option for guys. That 13th place guy had nowhere to go, right? The 13th guy, the first guy that didn't make the qualification, had nowhere to go fish as a pro. Well, now he does. The National Professional Fishing League. And I'll tell you guys, I'll start the show off with this. When we started running our business model, we were concerned. Our question was, when you start looking at a business model and you look at the feasibility kind of study we did, can we get 125 anglers that can pay $5,000 entry fees, that can fish 6 major events and a no entry fee championship? That was my big question. That's that's what kind of kept me up at night leading into this. I can tell you in the last 18 hours, I am no longer concerned about whether we can get 125. My concern is what we've switched gears on. We just had a meeting with the ownership group this morning at 7 o'clock, and we're trying to figure out a fair and transparent way to select the best 125 anglers. That's good for the business. That's good for the company. That's good for us. It's good for the anglers, and it's good for our potential sponsors. That's where we are right now.
Perfect. And I was seeing something. I know you've been busy on your social media page, answering a bunch of questions and everything like that. And when is the sign-up period happening?
So it's open now.
Yep. So
if you go to the Facebook page, you'll see 2 emails there. There's my email and Al's email, Brad Fuller at OmegaCustomTackle.com and al.eliteangler@gmail.com. Email if you think you want to get in this deal, right? If you think you've got what it takes and you can secure the financial backing to fish 2 years on our tour at $30,000 a year, put your name in the hat. Because what we're going to do is we're going to close it at the end of November.
Yep.
Right, and we're going to see where we're at. We're not setting anything in stone. We've got we introduced this thing now to give us 16 months to figure a lot of this stuff out, right? So we're going to close it. We're going to look at our 125. If we think we got the field we want, we're going to start sending out invites. So you get an invite that gives you plenty of time now to sign a contract. We'll give you a grace period on the contract. Say, hey, we haven't defined if it's going to be 2 weeks, 30 days, 60 days. I'm going to give you a contract. You sign that contract, you're in the tour. Your next thing will be to pay your deposits by October 31st of 2020.
Okay.
Your $5,000 deposit puts you in the field.
So you basically give guys a full year. No, how does that deposit work with the schedule? Is it just the $5,000 you got to pay before each one, or how does that work?
Nope. So we've actually got a pay schedule, and I've got it up right here. Basically, we're trying to make this. I get it, man. Look, I fish the Costas. I know, Brian, you've done some professional fishing. I get it. We're trying to make this as painless as possible on the anglers and their sponsors to get this money to us so we can run this tour. So basically, the window opens October 31st. Your deposit of $5,000 is due, and then you start your payments 1 January.
Okay.
$5,000 in January, $5,000 in February, $5,000 in March. And then we drop it. We want 4 payments of $2,500 a month to be done by July.
Oh, that's awesome.
So we're giving guys time. We have the working capital we need to run this tour with that kind of payment schedule. And look, when you sign the contract, you're on the hook for it. So if you want to pay it all up front, if you got one of those sponsors, by all means, we'll take the payment up front and you're free and clear. But that's the schedule we set up for guys who need to piece it together. We understand that.
Is there any benefits to guys paying all up front or anything like that? Boat numbers or any of that kind of thing?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
I'm just asking questions that I know might come up.
Yeah. Yeah, you get to fish. You get to fish for $500,000 6 times a year.
Right. That's a pretty good incentive. Why don't you go? Did you go through the payment schedule? Do you want to go through that at all? Or I know you listed it all on your Facebook posts.
Yeah, we can go through it, and we can talk about rationale and how we did it, why we did it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing here happens by mistake. So
and Zach actually has a graphic here too. He'll bring up so everybody can follow along with us as you're talking about it.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Okay, so for the 6 qualifying events, first place we're going to start that out at $50,000. Originally, so we've had a closed group on Facebook of some very prominent anglers that we trust and believe in and value their opinion. I'll just leave it at that. And their anonymity is very important to us, and we're just going to call them anglers. And we basically said, hey guys, here's 3 or 4 options for a payout schedule. What do you guys think? Because here's the deal. Here's from a business side, here's how I look at it. I'm going to pay out $500,000. If the field wants to do a winner take all, number 1 gets $500,000, the rest of you guys go home broke. Okay. We want to do what the anglers want to do.
Yep.
So this is the anglers, the ones that the guys we had on there, they chose this payout schedule. And I'll say this. When we filled our field of 125, there'll be heavy communication between us. We're not locked into this. This is what we're putting out there right now. That group of anglers wanted the 50, 30, 20, 15, 14 down to 5th place, right?
Yep.
They basically wanted us to evenly take 50,000 off the top, instead of paying first place 100,000, paying 50, and distribute that money all the way down. We added several more payout positions, so we're paying through 44th position, and that last place guy that cuts a check gets $9,000.
Wow.
So again,
Which is almost, it's almost double your money back.
I kind of am. It doesn't matter how I pay it out. That's our payout, and how the anglers how they want to gamble with their money, because that's what this really is, right? I mean,
Right.
how they want to portion it back out is totally on them. And then if you move to the championship, no entry fee. It's starting out at $250,000 for the field. You make $5,000 as a 25th place guy just for showing up.
Wow.
And then we're going to pay the winner $50,000. And here's something that ownership group wants to put out about the payouts. This is a starting position. If you guys see our goals, we want to pay 1 and 2 anglers by year 3, 4, or 5. We want to pay $500,000 to the winner of the championship. We want each 6 events to pay $100,000 to the winner. With the response we've gotten, guys, from both industry and anglers, we don't think that's going to be a problem, but we have to go execute it, right? This is all great on paper, but we got to go do it. And that's what we're here to do, is we're here to go execute a plan and bring this to life.
That's awesome. Now, talk a little bit about the events. Do you guys have any idea where the events are in 2021 yet, or general regions, or?
Yeah, so we want to emphasize this is a national level tour. We will fish a national level schedule. We are not ready to put a schedule out until we filled our field of 125.
Gotcha.
Because again, we want to go where the anglers want to go.
Yep.
Right? I don't want to see guys catch 9 pounds a day and 27 pounds wins our tournament for $50,000. I'm not paying $500,000 to watch guys scrape. Right? That's not what I enjoy, and that's not what we're about. We want to go hammer bass. That's what this is all about. So, I got to come up there and spend some time with you guys and fish up there. We will be up there somewhere in the summer because it's a phenomenal fishery for that time of year, better than anywhere else in the country. We're going to come up there and hammer smallmouth. That's what we want to see, and that's what the anglers want to do.
Yep.
We're going to California. We're going to go out west and fish Clear Lake and Mead and some of those areas that traditionally have not gotten a lot of notoriety. Some tours used to go out there years ago, and no one's been out there in a long time. Logistically, it's a burden on us as a company, but we want to highlight the fact that this is a national level tour. We're going to upstate, we're going to the Northeast, we're going to the Northwest. So we're going to make sure that this is. And now look, the Rayburns and the Dardanelles and the Lake of the Ozarks and the Gunnersvilles and the Chickamauga and all those places are all in play. We're going to fish all those lakes. I'll tell you right now. We also want to take this opportunity to highlight some of these fisheries that maybe don't get the notoriety that the Rayburns and the Toledo Bends get, but they're really, really good fisheries. And we feel like a no co-angler 125-man field, we can put those on some bodies of water and let these guys go show what these lakes have. And it's great for the venues. It's great for the Chamber of Commerce that we're going to be in business with to bring that to light, that there's some really good fisheries that don't get the notoriety of some of the big lakes that we all know.
Now, I heard you just say no co-anglers, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so was there marshals, or how are you guys doing that?
Yeah, so we're developing a Marshal Program right now, and look, we fully appreciate the fact that there are only so many marshals to go around.
Right.
And there's several ways we can get around that, and we're looking at all those options now. We understand that it will be difficult to fill every 125 boats with 125 marshals on top of everything else that's going on in the bass fishing industry. But here's one thing we will go on record and say right now. You will not pay to be a marshal in this tour. We're not charging anybody an amount of money to go sit in a boat and do us a service of being a rules official, logging weights into a computer. You're doing that as a service to us. So we feel like we've got some very good programs coming out that's going to entice people to want to be in the boat, to want to be part of our tour, and go out and sit in a boat for 3 days, 8 hours a day with these anglers to be part of our tour. So that's where we are right now with that, guys.
I had no clue that the marshals have to pay.
There's some that it costs money to be a marshal, so we'll just leave it at that.
Okay. That's amazing to me. I thought you, like you said, you're doing the tournament of service. So, okay, well that's great to know. So that's going to open the door for people that want to go chailing a boat for a while.
Right, for sure. Now you did say about entering weights in the computer and stuff. Now I know that it's in here, but again, in case anybody hasn't read the press release, this is Big 5 for 3 days, correct?
That's correct.
So there's a lot of questions about that now, right? Big 5, MLF, whatever. Like it or not, it is what it is. So this is Big 5 for 3 days. Are you guys looking at, what are you guys trying to do, or what are your kind of plans as far as weigh-ins and media stuff for these guys? I mean, obviously they're putting a bunch of money down on the table. You know, what can I give my sponsor? What kind of a platform am I going to have?
So we're in negotiations right now with a couple media companies that are going to this is going to be focused on live streaming, right? Just like your head-to-head stuff, we feel like that is the most consumable way we can put this product out for the average guy to consume it. You know, I was talking to Jay Kumar this morning, and I haven't watched a bass tournament on TV in probably a couple years, right? I would say the majority I do is probably on my phone. So we are going to tailor this to that medium and give the guys every opportunity. We're going to run as many cameras as we can afford to run. We are going to stream the live weigh-in. And then we're doing trailered weigh-in. So you're going to have your truck and boat and your whole rig pulled right in front of the stage, pull your bag out, come up on stage. For the 90 seconds you're on stage, or minute you're on stage, weighing your fish in, all your sponsors and everything is going to be right there front and center for the world to see, centered up on the camera.
That's cool.
Well, I think that's huge for the guys.
Right.
Yeah. Look, man, I feel like, and I want people to understand this, like I am the guy we're catering to, right? I was that guy. I am that guy. I'm in the fishing industry with Omega Custom Tackle. I understand. We understand where these guys are coming from. I'm not going to say there's nothing you can't tell me that I don't already know, but I've lived it. I've walked in their shoes. You know what I mean? So we're trying to make this as amenable as possible, so it makes it where everybody has the opportunity. We know not everybody is, but we want to see guys that maybe just didn't quite get a shot, make something a little more lucrative for a sponsor to make it where he can get in this thing and go fish for $500,000.
Yep. So, hey, Brad, I'm going to stop you for a quick second here. We're getting some questions and some comments filtering in on the Real Shot Facebook page. So remember, if you do have any comments or questions for Brad or anything in general, don't hesitate to ask here. So the first one I got is, well, first of all, Tony says, "What's up, everybody?" And then Jason says, "Hey, guys, I got a question. Any rule changes or differences from other tournaments?"
Look, guys, here's our mindset with rules. We feel like the same Tuesday night derby that you guys fish on your home lakes, those rules are 99% of what we need, right? There's going to be a few additions for off limits and practice times and all that stuff, but I don't need 64 pages of rules to run a bass tournament.
Right.
So, you know, we're working on the rules every day. I worked on them again last night till about midnight. We're trying to streamline it. And look, every rule is made for a reason. We understand that. But our tournament director will have carte blanche to make rulings within the rules. You have an infraction, we point to the rules and we administer a penalty, whatever that is.
Gotcha.
Right? It's really pretty simple. So I don't expect any major rule changes from anything that no one's used to in the bass fishing industry.
So then one of the other comments we got in here is from Tyson. He says he would be all over a Marshal spot here in Wisconsin. So I don't want to start anything that maybe you're not ready for, but if anybody's interested in maybe not fishing but becoming a Marshal, should they email the same things, or that information come out at a different time?
Yeah, let's probably pump the brakes there a little bit.
Okay, that's fine.
I appreciate the offer, but there will be a time and a place within the next 16 months where we announce our Marshal program, we promote our Marshal program, and that way everybody knows exactly what they're getting,
Yep.
and it'll be out there for the world to see. So we'll kind of go from there, but yeah, obviously marshals are a big part, right? I mean.
So at this point, though, any other general questions, they should go to the Facebook page and send them over there, and you guys will do your best to answer them on a timely basis.
Yeah, we've got a lot of media coming up here in the next 24 hours, guys. I just got a message a few minutes ago that we're going to be on Ike Live, Straycast, the Anglers Channel, basically all the major media outlets. You're going to be able to go and watch, and this is the last one I'll do for a while. But Al and Paul Benson will be taking part on a lot of that media. So you'll hear their words come out of their mouth, and our messaging is going to be virtually the same. But you'll have an opportunity to ask questions and hear it come right out of our mouth. We want to be clear about something. We're 16 months out.
Right.
We've got the bones of our tour. We've got the foundation set. Are we going to have to tweak things? Absolutely. Are we going to make mistakes? Probably. If the day I stop making mistakes, I'm probably dead. So just understand that any adjustments we make are for the betterment of the entire group. And when I say the group, anglers, the company, and sponsors.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yep.
Jason, want to know, are you guys going to allow nets, or is that kind of still in progress?
Well, it depends on who wins a fist fight. So we're discussing that right now. I can tell you my personal opinion on it is that I think not using nets is a safety hazard, especially when you're using treble hook baits. I'm one of those guys, man. I've done it. I've buried one deep in my hand, and it ruins the rest of your fishing day.
Yep.
Some guys like the drama it builds with not using a net, having a hand fish in and stuff like that. Fish care is another one. The debate of, hey, de-sliming a fish with a net, how bad is it? I'm like, I get that as well. But when guys are boat flipping them 3 feet in the air and slamming them on the deck, they're unsliming them as well. So to be honest, we have not made a decision on nets or no nets.
Yep. So again, a lot of these rules and questions, they can all go to the your Facebook page, which is the National Professional Fishing League, and they can ask all that stuff over there. So, yeah, but there's quite a few people commenting here on Facebook and everything, and a lot of it's just pure excitement for another awesome tournament coming through.
Well, thanks, man. We like I said, we went from can we get 125 to how do we select the right 125? There's virtually no doubt in my mind that we can easily field 125 really good sticks and really good anglers who are business minded and are ready to go out and work for $500,000 6 times a year.
Yep.
So and it's important. We just want to be an option. Like I said, you're going to hear me repeat a couple things. We're not here to replace anybody. We're not naive. We're not stupid, right? Bass is the godfather of fishing. It always will be, right? Regardless of who's on it. That's where it started, and that's where it's going to stay. With the BPT and their format and how they do things, there's a niche for that. And there's guys who want to watch that. And the FLW is the grassroots platform with the BFL series in the nation. More guys fish BFL across the country than any other trail in the world. So we're not going to replace that. We are another option for guys who didn't make it into any of those tours because they just fell a little bit short. Guys, go on and look at the guys who didn't requalify for the Bassmasters last year. There's some pretty good legendary anglers who didn't get to fish this year because they didn't qualify. You know what I mean? So, and now there's going to be a lot of room for growth. And look, guys, we're not looking at 2021. We're looking at 2021, 22, 23, and we have we're sketching out a 5 to 10 year plan along with our immediate action plan. So we know where we want this thing to go, and it's just a matter of us going out and executing it.
So Jason Duran says he's looking forward to talking to you on the Angler channel, and then Mark Stone says, will anglers have to sign an NDA and a no compete clause?
The contract will have by you signing our contract, you're contracting to be with our company for 2 years.
Okay. So
no requirement for an NDA. We were doing a lot of NDAs and we were keeping us very, very hush hush. But that's gone and by the wayside. The bones of everything you need to know about our tour is in that press release.
Okay.
And I understand the devil's in the details, and we're going to put those details out as they're available. But for right now, the nuts and bolts press release will fill.
Whether a schedule is not an easy task. So I mean, I can understand that. And then Stan had mentioned too, and you already hit on it, but we'll just comment on Stan's thing. It says it is a nationwide tournament, not just a regional tournament.
Yep.
Now, do you guys
100%.
have plans going into year 3, 4, and 5? Maybe you can't talk about some kind of a feeder system concept, or how guys might qualify after these contracts kind of expire, or how you're going to do that?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you, man. I love the pairing and seating meetings you guys did when you did head-to-head, right? I'll say it. I would love, let's say that we have 10, 15, 20 guys that don't want to carry on their contract into year 3, because it's a 3-year contract, but that 3rd year is your option as
right.
the angler. So we're locking you up for 2 years. You've got no requalification requirements. You got a place for you and your sponsors to live for 2 years. In year 3, if you're like, look, man, I'm going to go bash on the Opens, or I'm going to go do something else, or I'm just done, you can walk away from it after year 2, but that option for the 3rd year is yours. Some guys are going to walk away from it. I get it. We've all done it. I would like to see us do something like you guys do. We take the applications and we do it transparent. Like, this is how we picked our 10 guys.
Yep.
Now, talking to the ownership group this morning, what if we did one big derby 3 days for those 15 spots?
Oh.
All in, man. Come and get it. You want to fish the tour? Earn your way in the top 15. Get an invite for the next year. So there's a lot of options, man. My key thing with all this angler stuff and who's going to be in and who's going to be out, we will be as transparent as anyone has ever been in the nation, in the world, about how we select those anglers. No smoke and mirrors, none of that stuff. It's all going to be out in front for the public to see. You may not agree with it, you may not like it, but you'll know what's going on.
That's fair enough. I mean, that's all you can really ask for, right?
I think so. Look, man, you guys know, you with your businesses, Brian, and what you guys are doing there, you can't make everybody happy. You're not
Right.
going to appease. If you've done it, then they're lying to you, right? So,
True story.
but we want to do what's fair, right? I mean, that's the big thing is what's fair to the majority of the folks.
Now, I know when you and I were talking earlier, and I mean like a couple weeks ago, the qualification part, that's kind of a big deal to this tournament series as well, right?
Say that again, Matt. You broke up just a little bit.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if it's my headset or not. We were talking earlier, and I mean like a couple weeks ago, the no requalification and everything like that, you were saying that's kind of a big deal for this tournament as well, right?
We think so, right? So if you're a guy who's out pandering to sponsors and you're trying to convince a sponsor to help you with your entry fees or whatever your deal with that sponsor is, for you to be able to go to them and go, look, I've got a place to be for 2 years. Your brand has a spot on the tour for 2 years, right? So, and the 3rd year is our option. So you could, to me, if I, and I've went out and done that, right? I've went out and bartered with sponsors and negotiated with sponsors. I'm like, look, help me out for 2 years, and then let's get together and see if if you got a good ROI, we'll go into year 3 or however it works out. It puts some of the power back in the angler's hands, not just going out there, hey, I really want to fish. Will you give me some money to go fish the tour?
Right.
So,
Right.
look, man, sponsorship dollars are, for the anglers, are extremely hard to come by. I know that firsthand. I get it, right? Especially cash sponsors. I own a company, and like I said, us giving someone cash is a big, big, big deal, and we're just a little company. And it's no different for these major companies. These guys, I think a lot of people think these major corporations are just taking money out of the back door in a wheelbarrow. In this day and age, man, it's all about thin margins, right? So when you invest in somebody, you've got to have an ROI. And we want to give the anglers every opportunity to realize a return on investment for their sponsors. And that's one of the goals we have moving forward.
Nice. I'm just trying to read through
Just
it.
going through everything again, too.
There's so much. It's all new to, not only to Brad here, but to us here at the Real Shot. And we so much appreciate, Brad, you taking the time today to be one of the first, official press releases of this kind of stuff, working with the Real Shot on all this kind of stuff. So we're just trying to do our best to monitor any questions and, come up with any other good questions for you. But I can't wait for it. I'm excited
I think
for you guys.
Big thing I took out of it is the 1 in 3 anglers being paid. You know, as a guy who used to travel all over the place, I mean, those are pretty good odds.
Well, and here's the thing, Brian, is if you're the 44th place guy, you don't just get a check. You're going to make money.
Right.
So your entry fee is $5,000. So we wanted to give that last place guy enough money where he's going home with a profit in his pocket. If he spent $4,000 in expenses, he's doing something wrong. I mean, I'll just be honest with you, right? So, you know, we get it. We know travel and hotels and all that stuff. It's not cheap. Fuel for your boat, insurance, truck payment, truck insurance, tackle, all those things. But we feel like at $9,000 for 44th place, hey man, you're going to put a little change in your pocket. You can go home and take mom out to dinner, and she's not quite upset you were gone for 5 days.
Right, Zach, can you bring that back up now? Because, I mean, we lost the feed for a second, and now we come right back to it. So just to kind of catch people up to, you know, what the payments are. And again, you can find all this on the, you know, the Facebook page for these guys, but Zach's going to bring it up here in a second. I think that's phenomenal what you guys are, you stated earlier in the podcast, is this is definitely angler involvement. It's all about the angler, which is huge.
Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, we're not naive, right? I mean, I'm not the sharpest guy in the shed when I'm the only guy in there sometimes, right? But it's simplicity, right? It's easy. It doesn't have to be complicated. And I just feel like, you know, when I always go back to, you see those old videos of the Ray Scott tournaments when they first started bass, and it's nostalgic now, right? Why can't we be back there? Why can't we line up 125 guys, send them out in 4 or 5 flights, however you turn to do it? You bring your fish in, we weigh them, and the guy at the end of the 3 days who has the most weight, we cut him a check. Yep. And we cut the field a check. And, you know, like I said, we don't get too wrapped up in the amounts and how they go down. We were adamant that last place guy had to be a significant amount of money so he could make a profit. So 1 in 3 at 9,000 to us is pretty darn good. But we want to get back to simplicity.
I agree. Well, I think the big thing is, you know, my thing was always, and I you know, your anglers obviously made the decision, and they felt like I always did it. Tournaments are always too top heavy. I mean, you know, it was great for the guy that finished first or second, but there's no field if you don't have 125 guys to generate the funds for guys like you to run an event like this. I mean, if anybody thinks what you're doing is easy, they should try it.
Well, and 100%. And look, man, we're not here. You can get pretty jaded pretty quick. Yeah, I'll just be very honest with you. You know, I'm a pretty wear my heart on my shirt sleeve kind of guy, and you can get pretty jaded pretty quick because of all the negativity. But I'll say this: the difference between myself, Al, and Paul, and other people, other groups, is that we're going to go do it, right? This is that we've taken an idea and now we're going to execute it. If you want to participate and you want to be part of it, man, open arms all day long. If you don't, if you're like, well, you know, these other trails are much better, by all means, go fish those, man. Do what makes you happy.
Right.
Do what satisfies your thirst for whatever it is you thirst for in life, right? And you know, Michelle and I were talking last night, and so why did Michelle and I do this, right? Why did we agree to make this financial investment into this? Because this is all me, Paul, and Al. This is all our money, right? We're not. There's no sponsor dollars involved in this right now. Everything we have on paper that you see is 100% executable by our investment dollars. So obviously, when we start procuring sponsors and sponsors come to us and want to do a sponsorship with us, that's good for everybody. That's good for the anglers. That's good for me. It's good for Michelle. It's good for Al. It's good for Paul. It's good for the company. A healthy company runs a good trail, right? So when we start looking at all this, look, man, this is about me being home full time. This is a job that I can have where I'm not overseas doing what I do over there 6 months out of the year.
Right.
I'm not trying to be a millionaire to do this. I don't need $1 million in the bank, right? I want to make a comfortable living. I want to be home with my family full time, and I want to work in an industry that I have come and grown to love in the last 3 years. Fishing people are the best people in the industry. I would have never met you guys if it wasn't for Omega. I would never met Paul and Al. And dude, I've got friends that are dear friends that if I called them right now, they would be right here to give me their shirt off their back, just because of fishing. That's what draws me to this business venture more than anything else. I promise you.
Yep. Yeah, and actually Paul is on right now, and he says, our focus is the ROI, for the anglers, not the ownership. And that's basically what you just got done saying.
Yep, 100%.
So, and I mean, if he's on here saying that kind of stuff, obviously you can see that the ownership is, again, right back there for the angler with everything. So that's really cool for all that. And you guys are all, you can, just simply, you can reach you can, answer questions and all that kind of stuff. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, and look, man, we're not naive. It's going to be hard to keep it that way as this thing blows up and grows. And I know Paul has, Al has, we've all been on the phone, because we put our phone numbers on the press release.
I was going to say, yeah.
Right? Like, we didn't put that on there because we didn't want to talk to you.
Right.
So, look, we're trying to get back to everybody. Literally, I think I made 8 or 9 phone calls this morning after we had our ownership group call. I want guys to hear my voice. I want them to hear the passion. I want them to hear the sincerity. I want them to understand that, this isn't some kind of corporate deal. That this is Brad, Al, and Paul putting something together that we want everybody to be a part of. And look, man, I've had setbacks in life. I've stumbled in life, in business ventures. I've never failed at anything I've ever done in my life. I don't function that way, right? This will be no different. This will be a success. It's the only option, right? So it won't, if something doesn't go right, it's not going to be due to a lack of hard work. So Paul's the same way and Al's the same way. I didn't go into business with these guys by mistake, right? This was an ownership group that came together very, very easily because of the values we share across the board, period.
How many, Mark wanted to ask the question, how many anglers will be covered live?
So that's a good question. As many as possible, and I know that's a BS answer, but obviously, Brian, you guys know each camera you put on the water with the live stream has a dollar figure assigned to it.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So we will do as much as possible. Ideally, no less than 8. No less than 8. But again, we're waiting on some numbers to come back from some of our streaming services to let us know what that number is. I don't want to promise you 8, but I would like a minimum of 8. We've got stuff set up, or in the template to have a live commentator in a studio at the event where they're commentating on what's going on, talking about our sponsors, talking about the anglers, having guests on, all that stuff. Look, man, this is going to be professional. Don't let the good old boy, hey, we're just 3 dudes trying to be dudes, lead you down the path that this isn't going to be a phenomenal tour, because we understand the optics of this and how this goes down is equally important to everything we actually do. So we're going to make this a very high-class operation that looks and feels like professionals should look and feel.
Well, I think that goes back to the whole ROI for the angler, right?
Right.
I mean, if I'm going to a sponsor trying to say, hey, can I get $30,000, please?
Yeah.
I better be able to show them something. I can't just go off into the darkness and say, well, I went fishing, thank you very much. That's not going to get me my money.
I don't know. I think we do a pretty good job not always looking professional and
talking. We're not getting $5,000 a boat either.
I'm just having fun. This is awesome. And again, I mean, all the comments coming through here. There's tons of people that are extremely, extremely excited for it, just as we are here at the Real Shot for it. So,
well, I think the big thing that Brad hit on was, where are you going to find the guys, and are you going to dilute it, right? And I think that everything he talked about with all the anglers just missing a cut here, just missing a cut there, all the college kids, and we saw a couple of those guys in head-to-head.
Oh yeah,
phenomenal sticks, but they might not have been able to qualify for anything else or whatever, schedules, who knows, whatever. And there's more people than ever into the fishing world now, bass specifically.
Correct.
That there's all these different options, and I think that there's no way to dilute it. I just don't mean, you know what I mean? If you're sitting at home and you want to watch fishing on a Sunday, who cares what league it is, to be honest with you? I just want to watch some guys out there fishing. If it's shitty weather where I am and they're down in Alabama just cranking on 6-pounders. I mean, what else would you want to do,
Right.
And so I don't know how much time you guys got left. I do want to touch on one thing, right? And we've heard this time and time again, is there are no sponsor dollars in the industry. There's nobody interested in doing this kind of stuff anymore. They'd rather spend their money somewhere else. I actually kind of drank that Kool-Aid a little bit until we opened the door on this thing. And I can tell you that we've been contacted by some major people who want to be part of this. So, I think it's got to be done correctly. I think it's got to be in the right optic. I think it's got to be a good investment, right? And I think us all three being business owners understand that. Right. Like we run and operate a separate business from all this. We understand what you have to have and how you have to structure it for it to be profitable for a business to make an investment to be a title sponsor. What's that mean, right? So we're super excited. I think there's going to be some major things happen here in the next week, 2 weeks, month, 3 months. You know what I mean? It's gonna build. So if this is the jumping off point, we're gonna keep this momentum going. And we're super excited.
I know you're pretty busy, Brad, and I got one other question here from Mark Stone. He's been very active on here, so again, thank you to him. He says, any plans for TV broadcasts? And you kind of hit on that a little bit, but I'll let you go ahead with that one.
Yeah, so here's the deal, man, is I don't want to stiff arm anybody from a TV perspective that would want to come to us with a proposal. It's hard for us to sell something that we haven't done yet. Right? So, when we go out and we crush it the first year and we have high production quality stuff coming out, I can see a TV channel or an entity coming to us go, hey, we want to be in business with you guys. Nothing we're doing right now are we doing solely for the benefit of TV.
Yep.
Because, like I said, the number one way bass fishing is consumed is over a mobile device or streamed off online. On the line, as my dad would say.
I know.
So, so you know what I mean? So we're not opposed to it. We're not seeking it. I think it's a natural thing to happen because TV stations and channels and companies need shows to make money. So, yeah, I see at some point we could be on TV, but we have nothing right now that we're hard over going, we have to have a TV deal or this can't happen.
Well, I think
we have to have a TV deal or the sponsors don't get their value. I don't believe that.
Right. This is just me speaking as Brian from The Real Shot. TVs Dead, personally. I think the difference is people think of TV as what they watch it or they consume it on, right? But that doesn't mean that what you have on your TV has to come from a cable company or from a network or a satellite provider, right? Like you can watch YouTube on your TV. It doesn't have to be from Fox or CBS or NBC or any of these other big things. That's just 100% my opinion, but that's just
And you watch
the industry dictates it.
Oh, go ahead, Brad. Sorry.
No, I was saying the industry dictates that, right?
Yep.
The consumer dictates where it's consumed. That's not me saying, hey, I don't want to watch TV.
Right.
I watch TV. I watch network television, but when I want to watch a bass tournament, right? When I want to go see where the guys are doing or how they're catching them, I pick up my phone or my computer and I stream it over my computer. That's what I do.
Yep.
And I think not alone.
Yeah, I don't think I'm in the minority there.
No.
Well, even with head-to-head, I mean, your dad was watching it on a cruise ship someplace. Yep. I think, Brad, you even told me you were fishing someplace and you streamed it over your phone.
Yeah. I was I forget. I was at Lake of the Ozarks fishing something down there, and I just put the audio on and watched it and streamed it on the way home.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, eventually YouTube's going to run the world.
Well, no, I mean, TV's going away. It's all going to be these TV networks that we grew up with. They're going to turn into apps, which they already have.
Yep.
But it's all going to be a la carte, and you're going to pick and choose what you want, and that's just the way it's going to go.
Which I've been saying that for years. I mean, these companies would make so much more money if they would charge you per channel.
Right.
And you wouldn't have to have 600 channels of something
then
you don't.
You watch what, 10?
Right.
I mean, realistically, you watch 10 channels.
I mean,
right?
just like all of them now, you pay $10 a month or whatever, but at least you know you're going to utilize that. So
and again, I'm not downplaying the TV. And if I were in Brad's shoes and Discovery came to me and said, "Hey, here's this contract. What do you think?" I'd be entertainment too.
and I mean, there's people on here like Paul and some other guys. Joe, he says I haven't had cable in years, and just like you guys just said, they stream all their stuff through the internet. So
and we did the head-to-head thing, and Brad, same thing. We did the head-to-head. It was 95% viewed on mobile devices.
Yep. Tablets,
phones. That's just where it's consumed. That's just the way it is.
Right.
2020, man.
Well, cool, man. Hey, I don't know. You want to leave us with any closing comments? So why don't you recap where people can, email, where they can find all the information, all the questions, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, guys. So the number one place that you can get updates, and as we put information out for right now, is going to be on our Facebook page, the National Professional Fishing League. We're going to update that thing. We'll answer as many of those questions as we can. The email, if you go down one post from the TRS live post, you'll see that our emails are in there. If you're interested in fishing this tour, if you want your name in a hat to be one of the 125 guys, email Brad Fuller at OmegaCustomTackle.com and email al.eliteangler, ANGLR, at gmail.com. Those emails are on the Facebook page.
Yep.
If you think you want to fish this thing, send us your resume, and we'll go from there. But overwhelming response. We're super excited, and we can't wait to see where this goes. And we want to thank you guys for having us on and giving us a platform to kind of get some of the stuff out there and answer a few questions. It's invaluable when you're trying to push something out like this. So we sincerely appreciate it.
Right. And before I cut you loose here, anything new from Omega you want to hit on?
So we're not selling Omega. So just that's been the big question. I've gotten from, we have about 10,000 likes and followers on Facebook. Like, why are you selling Omega?
Right.
You've done all this work. We're not.
No.
We hope you use it. We're going to try to use this as a platform to help springboard that to the next level. Nothing.
Yeah, the Spartan.
So we did just release all of our Spartans, right?
Yeah, see, I knew there was something.
The boss is paying attention. There she is.
I knew there was a new bait here at some point, Dad.
There you go.
So we've got all of our Spartans, 1/8, 3/16, and 5/16, and camo and white are out.
Yep.
We just got our first set of powder-coated blades to put a white blade and a fluorescent orange blade on that Dreamsicle Rapture. It looks amazing. We're going to approve those and get those in production. So you should see those in probably a couple weeks. So
BFL a rig pack.
So we also do the
I love it.
we also do the Spartan in a BFL, what we call a BFL a rig pack. So
Brad, why don't you just move over and let her take over? I mean,
I'm gonna get in so much trouble later. I've been trapped downstairs, by the way. I army crawled up the steps and around, but now
Brad's face is the same color as his shirt.
sorry.
no, look, man, it's funny because Michelle's taken over Omega, right? So because it's been one of those deals where it's our third child now.
Yep.
And I'll be very honest with you. We contemplated, like, look, do we have the bandwidth? Can we do this? And we think we can. So we're gonna try to run them both, and hopefully they both take off and excel. So we're super excited.
That's awesome, man.
All right. Well, I think you covered pretty much everything. We do appreciate it, both you and Michelle, for taking the time here this afternoon and joining us here on TRS Live. We wish you the best of luck here.
It's the real story here. It's everybody that wants to fish in this NPFL needs to send Michelle a thank you card. It says, thanks for making sure Brad gets dressed every day and keeps the shit straight.
Yeah.
Right?
100%.
Yep,
Behind every great man is a better woman.
I'm the same way, man. I'm not picking on you. I totally get it.
I think that's perfect. Next time we know we need to talk to anything Omega, we'll contact Michelle. Anything with this new tournament, we'll contact Brad. And that's just the separation that's going to be on there. Even Paul Benson says that, again, he says Michelle is the boss. So obviously it's clearly stated.
If you have any questions, just ask Tony. Tony Malika. If Tony needs something, ask him who he calls or emails.
We just spoke yesterday.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
Well,
man, I appreciate it that you guys have been, super kind to us at Omega, and we sincerely appreciate it. And then just with this deal with the National Professional Fishing League, this is a big deal, man. It's a big deal to me. It's a big deal to Michelle.
Yep.
This was not a decision that was made knee-jerk or quickly. This is a very significant investment on our part, both in time and emotional equity, right? Like, you only have so much to give around. Right. So we're super excited, and I really am very anxious to see where this goes, and can't wait to see where we end up.
I'm just surprised you unveiled this all right during the rut. That's not a very smart decision, Brad.
Yeah. You just twist it a little harder, man.
I'll tell you, he's been going out in the backyard. Well, not the back. Well, I guess the backyard, because we have like 5 acres. And just sitting outside from like 3 o'clock until dark, I think, so he can get that little fix.
Right.
Man, if the rut's coming, you never know where you're going to see a big one.
That's true. It could come right through your backyard. That's for sure.
Yeah,
so.
literally.
Yep.
That is so awesome. Well, again, thank you guys so much. We really, really appreciate it. And Make sure that you head over to the National Professional Fishing League for any more information or any comments, and all the emails and everything is right out there. Have a great rest of your day, Michelle and Brad, and we will talk to you guys later.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Be good.
See ya.